Picture this. Mumbai, actually Bombay, in 1996. Just a year before that, India's telecom body had launched public internet in the country for the very first time. This was when a dial-up connection for quote-unquote non-commercial usage was 15,000 rupees for, wait for it, 9.6 kilobytes per second. Unimaginable now, but there was a heady sense of optimism in the air. India opened up its economy just a few years earlier. By 1996, the IT sector reached its first $1 billion. Rohit Bhatt was in his mid-20s then and had returned after working for a couple of years in Japan. He was determined to start a software services company. And he did, from his sister's living room in Bombay. Apple had just come to the country, and in his previous job, Rohit worked with the Mac operating system. It was a perfect match. He went to the small 18-member Apple sales team in India, saying that he could be their tech guy. Rohit was there at the right place at the right time in bustling Mumbai and backed the first project for his company that he called RoboSoft Technologies. After that, there was no looking back. He was coding away with two others. Slowly, the number of clients also grew. Everything was great until 1998. But something did not feel right. Bombay was crammed houses, a rushed life, and people hustling round the clock. But what really bothered Rohit were the local trains, the long hours to get from one place to another. His customers were from California, Taiwan, Singapore. And he had not met anyone until this point. That was when he had his first big realization.
For me, in Bombay, I was traveling in those local trains, and I would spend 1.5 hours up and down, and it was a bad thing, and I used to enjoy it in the when I went to Bombay in '92. But by '97, '98, I thought there's a better way to live my life, and I said, let me not waste 3 hours of my time. If my customer is not bothered, where am I? Why should I be? And I decided to move to my hometown in '98.
So, Rohit packed his bags and moved back to his hometown, Udupi. On the same coast as Bombay, but anything like it. If Bombay was the cosmopolitan port city, the cooler cousin, if you will, Udupi was a quiet coastal town. But that decision to move back, it paid off in the long run. In August 2021, 25 years later, RoboSoft got acquired by Japanese company Technopro Holdings for around $100 million. 3 years after RoboSoft's acquisition that made people do a double take, another Mangalore, Udupi-based tech company called Novigo Solutions got acquired by NTT Data. Last year, one more homegrown company, Nivea Solutions, got backed by Blackstone-owned R Systems. Today, the Udupi-Mangalore belt in South Karnataka, it's a booming, emerging tech hub. GCCs are coming to it. Co-working spaces are springing up everywhere. This has happened because of bets taken by founders like Rohit. If you remember, Rohit made the journey back to Udupi after frustration with the Bombay local. This frustration is the perpetual feeling of every employee in Bangalore, actually all of urban India today. Long days followed by longer commutes, water supply issues, infrastructural issues, all pointing towards growth that is frankly unsustainable. But how do we make our tech growth sustainable? By growing it beyond Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and Delhi NCR, by really promoting tech talent everywhere and by building in smaller cities and towns and villages. In this episode, I tell you stories of 3 founders from Udupi, Vizag, and Nagpur and the new tech ecosystem. These are stories of determination, challenges, and a great sense of purpose thrown in along the way. These are also stories of many moving parts and holds lessons for how educational institutions, policy, and early adopters all need to come together to build a tech city. Welcome to 90,000 Hours, a show about careers and workplaces. I'm your host, Vidhatri. So when Rohit got back, the first challenge was finding internet connection that would support Robosoft's work. He realized that the National Institute of Technology in Surathkal, near Mangalore, had a tiny science and technology entrepreneurs park that was not in use. Rohit asked for permission to use that space and he got it, but only at night. By the way, this is a good time to tell all of you that the folks he hired in Bombay did not want to move with him to Udupi. There was no option but to start from scratch.
I hired again, rehired again because the people from Bombay said, they don't want to come down to this region. And I said, fine, I'll restart things. Luckily for me, one of my classmates was a lecture assistant professor at NITK. And he said, he'll help me, set up, train the people and all those things. So while in the mornings, it was about doing stuff, training people and all. In the evening, it was about delivering what we were building. Because, NITK had a connection, I think uh, it was 28.8 kind of a kbps kind of a connection back then. And they had 300 students using it in the day. And I wouldn't get any bandwidth. So I would stay back till 12 o'clock in the night. 12 o'clock, they shut the lab. And I became friendly with the lab technician. And, he would always extend it for half an hour for me. And in that half an hour, I would do all my export, uploading stuff, downloading stuff. And also, I had that 1 hour, half an hour window in the middle of the night to do that, file transfers and work transfer and all.
Of course, things got better soon. By 2000, Robosoft hired 23 people. They hit the 100 mark in 2002. All of this coincided with Bangalore's IT sector taking off at an unimaginable pace. Every fiscal year, the industry was growing upwards of 40%. Hundreds of firms were being added. Campuses were being built. Now, when this powerhouse tech city was scaling and scaling massively, just 350 kilometers away, why would anyone stay back in Mangalore and Udupi? Now, that was the question Rohit and his team was confronted with as well. But they found a solution.
Bangalore was booming at that time, and we were losing our engineers to Bangalore rapidly. So we started doing kind of like a PR campaign. We used to send a lot of our engineers abroad, and we started every time we would send somebody, we would start we would advertise, we would put a Bon Voyage ad on the newspaper, and it became a regular feature back then. And in a small town, somebody's kid goes out, 1,000 people would know.
But doubt still prevailed. Robosoft was operating out of small offices across Udupi and Mangalore and had no typical bearings of a tech park or office with its massive building, a cafeteria, men and women working out in their corporate best. And they had to keep up appearances. Finally, Robosoft caved and built an office.
Being in Bangalore was a cool thing, not just for people, but even for the parents. So we said, okay, let us solve this HR problem and let us build a Bangalore style building in Udupi. Okay. And, we didn't want to put it anywhere inside Udupi and all. We said, I told our team, look, find the place that, everybody can see the building at least 100 meters from either side. Okay. And, the only place you could do that was on our NH, National Highway. So we picked a big plot and we started constructing a very unique building, a round, building. Part of it was inspired by the database. It's Oracle building in Silicon Valley, where also they were looking like this database cylinder. Right? So we said, okay, this looks cool, and our logo was also round. So we said, okay, let's build a very unique building, and we started constructing that in 2000.
Now, this anecdote can come across as funny, but these appearances, they really do matter because they signal infrastructure capabilities. Rohit invested in a co-working space project called WorkWork back in 2021. He had bought 25,000 square foot of land and built out this massive building, but it was lying vacant for a year. He then furnished it to what he calls world class quality, and that really changed everything. A Danish company came in, others followed, more are on the way. What really works for Mangalore as a tech destination is the constant loop of talent it has from its strong network of over 25 great engineering colleges. These produce 15,000 graduates annually. Rohit's pitch for Mangalore is simple: world class quality at 25% of the rate. Strong pitch indeed, but Rohit and other entrepreneurs' vision for Mangalore has roadblocks. Last month, my colleague Mrunmayee Kulkarni reported how the Karnataka government's ambitious plan to decentralize its growth away from Bangalore was not working. A founder who grew up in Mangalore and now runs a startup in Bangalore told Mrunmayee that the system is just not equipped. All verification and clearances are rerouted back to Bangalore, which is the capital city. It's all a bit of a bureaucratic nightmare. I asked Rohit how policy should change to help entrepreneurship in the Udupi Mangalore belt. His response: the government has the desire to strongly incentivize growth outside the capital, but it has to do more aggressively.
What they need to do is put in place a process to make sure that this availment of these policy benefits happen, transparently and very quickly. So right now there is, that they have to fix on a war footing, because see, ultimately, in our region and all the ecosystem players, the industry leaders have taken a lot of interest in doing this, and a lot of times, what we are doing is, we wonder, okay, government should be doing this, and it is not us. So I think the government can do a lot more, and they are doing quite a bit, but they can do a lot more by making sure the availment of policy benefit becomes very very quick. They should deploy their officers who give these policy benefits to our region.
Now, there's one city that's delivering on this front: the ease and quickness aspect of dealing with the government. And that's Vizag, where we'll turn to next.
You mentioned South India. I called the Prime Minister of India this on Sunday night. I used to take this train.
Prime Minister Modi.
Prime Minister
Yes.
Modi. I used to take this train through the south of India, and there's this town called Vizag. It's a beautiful coastal town. Growing up, and we announced our. Yeah, there you go. We announced our largest ever AI investment outside the US, a $15 billion, 1 gigawatt plus data center, 80% powered by clean energy, with subsea cables going in. The chance to transform a region like that with a kind of investment, it really meant a lot to be able to call the Prime Minister, who really cares about developing the country, and this has been his vision. I know you know him well too, and so anyway, it's extraordinary to see the impact of all this.
That's Google CEO Sundar Pichai talking about his company's $15 billion investment to create an AI hub in Vizag of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh is a fascinating story right now. The government there, led by N. Chandrababu Naidu, has managed to corner 25.3% of all proposed investments in the first 9 months of financial year 26, and is over 10 percentage points higher than its next counterpart. Vizag has a chunk of those investments. There's the Google project, of course, but there are other data center projects by SIFI and Reliance. Cognizant, TCS are opening up campuses, and so are a host of other IT companies. The city truly seems to be at an inflection point, ready to take off. The thing that's working for Andhra Pradesh is the speed at which it's doing business. The Google investment is said to have been sealed in 13 months. The TCS project, it took less than 90 minutes. I wanted to find out how this actually looks like in practice. So I took all of my questions to Ravi Ishwarappu. Ravi worked in the US for Satyam Computers, set up its delivery center in Vizag, and invested in startups. He's now the CEO of the Ratan Tata Innovation Hub in Vizag. It's an incubation center that wants to accelerate startups in the state. Now, Ravi says the government at large, including the bureaucracy, is aligned in making sure the whole gamut of regulatory processes are as smooth as they can be. The goal is to make sure the paper, that memorandum of understanding or MOU becomes something actionable.
One is on paper as an MOU, but how quickly can you convert it into reality and those things? So now that's what the government is working on. So um, that's where the speed at which, see, like clearing land clearances, of course, when it comes to allocation of land, resources like water, power, utilities, the whole ecosystem. That means multiple departments coming into play and then working together, whether administration, whether it is transportation systems, everything. So there is a collective effort along with the industry associations, policy, ensuring that these are, what do you call it, along with, if you're talking just something related to municipalities, the local infrastructure related policies, all those aligning, and that systems are all working together to ensure that the commitment is converted into reality.
Ravi jokes that I'm talking to him only because of the big ticket Google investment that made everyone notice Vizag. But he follows that up in all seriousness about the trickle down effect of that big ticket announcement. A behemoth comes and others follow naturally. Ravi says he's noticing founders looking to relocate already. Out of the 13 startup pitches he was hearing on the day we spoke 2 weeks ago, 5, he says, are companies based out of Bangalore and Hyderabad.
There's some peer, Hyderabad and Bangalore, wanting to reverse migrate, come into the thing. Because this happens when they see there is an opportunity. See, companies move to places where there is business, where there is talent, and there is policies which are uh, good for your growth.
Mangalore and Vizag are the poster children, the front benchers of the rising tech ecosystem. But what does it take to make your city one? That was a conversation I had with Samir Bendre, the former COO of Persistent Systems. After spending close to 20 years at the IT services giant with a market cap of $14 billion, he pivoted and launched a cutting edge deep tech startup. He could have done it anywhere, but he chose his hometown Nagpur to build High Zero, which designs and manufactures hydrogen fuel cell systems.
When you say deep tech, people normally associate deep tech with only IT or IT related deep tech and AI. But we are doing something which is in the space of hydrogen. We could have done it anywhere. In fact, there is a better hydrogen ecosystem existing in places like Pune and elsewhere. But we believe that this place has advantages where there could be a lot of coal and other things happen. So over a period, there could be better availability of hydrogen here, which can be done in the future. And the second thing is, it's pretty much having the right people and doing these tech areas.
Samir is, of course, attached to his hometown. He grew up there and his family is there. But he's also taking a long term calculated bet on Nagpur.
There are 2-3 areas where we are seeing Nagpur will be a focus area. One will be renewable energy, where there are a lot of big industries coming up in that area. Second, Nagpur being the center of India, defense is going to be a big hub here. So defense companies coming there, that's going to be the second thing. And third is, which is happening in most other places, is some of the GCCs also looking at Nagpur. With these 3 things coming together, Nagpur, I believe, will be a metro in 10 years' time.
And this vision, it spans large. Samir wants to create an entire hydrogen ecosystem through High Zero.
I think, in fact, in High Zero, our whole idea is to set up an hydrogen technology park, where not only High Zero as one organization manufactures hydrogen fuel cell systems, but other organizations which are in the hydrogen space, or consumers of hydrogens or users of hydrogens, or in part of that ecosystem, also put up a plant there. This is something which we see as an opportunity. Like you see things of places like, when you talk of an IT hub, you think of Bengaluru. When you think of an automobile hub, you think of Pune and Chennai. Similarly, when you look at hydrogen, Nagpur can be an hub. Obviously, the other thing is that as of now, there are a lot of policies and related things with respect to hydrogen which are yet to be defined as a country. In fact, a lot of them are even in worldwide in discussions at different places. we accelerate those policy making and those policy changes which will help this ecosystem grow faster. That's what we are looking from the government today.
It's an audacious, committed goal that will pay off in a while. Talking to Samir was a great reminder that a lot of the stories about building tech ecosystems are really about gumption to just go for it. And then, of course, there's that hard process of seeing it through. And all the stories in today's episode had one other thing in common: a sense of duty to give back to your community, to where you come from. And oh, not to forget the frustration with the quality of life in urban India. Thank you for listening to 90,000 Hours. Please write to me or reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have moved out recently from a big city and are actively looking to build elsewhere. This is a story we will be tracking very, very closely because I believe the most interesting stories about the future of work and how it's changing will be coming from cities like Jaipur, Indore, Lucknow, and Coimbatore, as well as many other cities we do not speak of as much. So please let me know what your thoughts are. This episode was hosted and produced by me, Vidhatri Rao, and edited and mixed by the wonderful Rajiv CN. Stay tuned. We will be back next week.